Yeah. Oh, you've seen the title. You know what's going on here. Welcome back to UPDL Season 9 replay analysis, starting with week 1, of course. You got your hosts, Specs. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyways, yeah. Sorry this took so long. I was waiting for the week 1 battles to finally finish up, and they finally have. So, yeah, that's great. I did not already record the week 1 battles minus a battle because it wasn't finished yet last week, and then I forgot to upload it. Definitely not. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of did that. And then well, yeah, I figured since the last battle got finished for week 1, I figured I might as well just re-record because, you know, I didn't really like the analysis I was doing last video anyways either. So yeah, I have looked at all these games and I know kind of what to talk about. So yeah, we're just ignore that. But anyways, enough yapping. It's time to just, you know, get started. You know, we gotta talk about these games. So first up, we got the Skeb Glaceons up against the Slovakian Slowbros. I wonder, the names haven't changed, right? I just realized like maybe the names might have changed. No, I don't think so. Anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and move on. So yeah, LG versus Ghetto Flash. Let's go ahead and get started here. Got like a whole. You got like a. This is like actually just straight up Ubers versus OU. Like straight up OU. Anyways, Annihilate bleeding off against Iron Crown. Okay, interest. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Iron Crown was actually not a bad pick against LG. You know, beats basically the top 3 Ubers here. So honestly, getting rid of that for LG turn 1 is probably a good idea. So yeah, pretty solid start for LG there, I'd say. Anyways, Darkrai is going to lead off against Meowscarada, and Darkrai is going to go for the Ice Beam, but it is not quite going to kill, and U-Turn is going to do a lot of damage in return here. Arceus Fair is going to be the obvious swap in here. We're going to see what Judgment. Oh, we're going to see Calm Mind as Cinderace comes in, goes for the Pyro Ball, is not going to do anything there, and Arceus Fair is going to go for the Earth Power and just knock out the Cinderace right away. So LG is definitely leading here. We got a Fake Out from Sneasler with Normal Gem. Okay. Into a Dire Claw, which is going to proc Sleep, which is very, very lucky for Pokeawesome there. Without that Sleep, I'm pretty sure +1 Earth Power would definitely have killed the Sneasler there. So yeah. Anyways, Moltres is gonna go in here as Sneasler goes for another Dire Claw. Gets a Para right afterwards too. We're seeing Sneasler Dire Claw putting in a lot more work than it did last season. But yeah, anyways, you're going to see the U-turn. That was a greedy ass U-turn. Yeah. That was a very greedy U-turn there. No reason to go for that when you know Moltres is going to be staying in against your Sneasler there. You're just risking the Flame Body Burn, and unfortunately for Ghetto Flash, he did get that. But to be fair, he got a Sleep and a Para from Dire Claw, so I think that's very much so deserved. Especially for making such a very greedy play there. Anyways, Landorus is going to come in there, and Moltres is going to go for Will-O-Wisp on that turn, so we're going to get a 2 burns for the price of 1. Only with Moltres. The DLC comes out at $5.99. No, okay, no. Anyways, yeah, 2 burns for the price of 1. It's going to be pretty bad for Ghetto Flash here. Rock Tomb is not even going to be able to 2-shot. Just barely 2-shot maybe, depending on the roll. But now Roost comes out. Moltres is absolutely not going to be able to lose to this Landorus outside of Paralysis hacks. We're going to see Flamethrower come out. It's not going to do too much to Landorus there. Fire Ghetto Flash. Yeah, he doesn't have a really good switch into Moltres, honestly. Maybe he could try to go to Darkrai on a default. But at the same time, like, Darkrai is super low. And I doubt Specstar. I'm assuming this might be Specstar. I don't actually know what the Darkrai set is. But, like, it's probably not going to kill Moltres in one shit. So, yeah, you know, not a great time for Ghetto Flash overall here. Anyways, Rock Tomb, I guess he's just trying to wait for the Paralysis to happen in an inopportune moment so that he can take out the Moltres, which, you know what, fair enough, all things considered. I would probably be U-turning, like, the moment you get a Para on a bad turn, I would U-turn, basically what I'm the Moltres has not gotten paralyzed yet, though, so... Or at least I haven't seen it. Oh, there it is. So this is the time you U-turn, right? Because there's no way... Oh, no. Yeah, actually, LG would sack it. Never mind. I guess that's fair, because LG would probably want to get a clean switch into something else. Yeah, U-turn was pretty greedy by me. But, I mean, you're already burned, and, like... Well, I mean, the Moltres is going to go for Roost. So, definitely, I think U-turn was fine. And then you could go to, like, Darkrai. Specs Dark Pulse it up or something. Yeah, the actually say Fairy is at like 12%. Yeah, definitely do that. I don't think it specs. I don't think it specs Darkrai though, because otherwise, Masquerade probably shouldn't have taken that Ice Beam, if it was specs. But it's not Life Orb either. I don't know what the item on the Darkrai is. Anyways, Mewtwo comes out, goes for Reflect. Interestingly enough, with Light Clay, I'm assuming. Yeah, it is. Okay, interesting way to use a Mewtwo. You're gonna set up screens. Rockton comes out. Mewtwo's gonna be probably not going to be slower unless the Mewtwo has no speed investment. And yeah, Mewtwo is going to knock it out with an Ice Beam there. Yeah, Sneasler's going to come out here as the Eternatus swaps in, and we're going to see what? You see a Fake Out again into what? He's going to go for Dire Claw, trying to get a Paralysis or Sleep again, I'm assuming. No dice there, as Eternatus sets up an Agility. Dynamax Cannon is not going to quite take out the Sneasler there. Dire Claw again, no more hacks from the Dire Claw, it seems. And Meteor Beam is going to take out the Sneasler and set up Eternatus for a pretty devastating sweep here. I don't really think anything can save Ghetto Flash at this point. Grassy Clyde's definitely not the answer there. That being said, Flamethrower is definitely going to kill, yeah. And Darkrai is presumably slower. And yeah, that is going to be it for game one there. LG walking out with a pretty clean 4-0. Yeah, LG played pretty well, things considered. Kept rocks off on her side, knocked out one of her bigger threats in Iron Crown, and yeah, played pretty cleanly there. Pokemon got a little bit of hacks, and it might have been able to capitalize off of that, but unfortunately, just kind of didn't really have a momentum here. And honestly, just considering the two teams, I'm sorry, Ghetto Flash's team looks really bad. I don't know, man. Like, why? It's just all OU Pokemon. Like, why would I be scared about it? Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next team. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Don't worry about that. Anyways, we got the next team up here. We got Gecko versus Terra, aka the Las Vegas Golden Ho-Ohs versus the Texas Turtwigs. So let's go ahead and get that started. We're gonna see the Ursaluna lead off against Heatran here. Ursaluna is going to go for the Swords Dance turn one. Nice play there. Predicting that the Heatran definitely would not want to stay in against a ground type that could absolutely murder Heatran. And then we got Landorus coming in here. Landorus goes for the Focus Blast and it is almost about to kill, but not, just misses the mark there. And Ursaluna is going to knock it out with the Ice Punch, leaving Ursaluna at 1%. But we do see the kill there, so that's pretty good for Gecko. Anyway, Salamence is going to come in here. I don't really know if you want to save the Ursaluna, but it's at 1% and it's slow. Probably not going to be able to get much use out of that unless you had Trick Room. And even if you had Trick Room, it's only going to be for one turn, right? Yeah, no, definitely not. Anyways, we're going to see the Salamence go for Outrage, which I don't know why you went for Outrage to kill the Ursaluna. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole Tapu Lele right there. And yeah, you're going to get Moonblasted right now. What? Guys, where is the Moonblast? Where's the Moonblast guy? Wait, seriously? Why? Bro, that was the freest Moonblast. Why'd you go? All right, it's gonna be one of those games. Okay, yeah. Okay. And Fire Blast. Yeah, sure. Why not? Bro, use Magma Storm. Trust me, use Magma Storm. You're gonna be missing just as often, and it's gonna be a lot better, effect-wise, at least. Anyways, can I just talk about what the fuck that turn was? Like, first off, Terra going for Outrage to kill the Ursaluna. Already a very questionable play, because now it locks you in, and there's a whole ass fairy type who's known for running Moonblast, and not only known for running, it's known for running a strong as fuck Moonblast, and then you just Gecko switches it in, right play. Outrage gets a sword, and then Tapu Lele just fucking he goes for taunt instead of Moonblast to kill it. This is a this is Mega Salamence. It can't have Rosella Berry or anything. Moonblast absolutely will knock out the Salamence. Like, you don't have to do any calcs to know that one. Like, why on God's green earth would you ever go for taunt on that turn? You literally got a nice clean kill right there. Literally no hassle at all. And then you just... Okay. Calm down. I'm tilted. I'm very tilted. Anyways, I don't know why Terra was trying to go for whatever the fuck, like Fire Blast on a goddamn Latias. That's also very questionable again. Deoxys attack coming back in. It goes for the Shadow Ball. Okay, gets the Spadef drop, so that's pretty important, and you can get. Guys, do you know what Spadef drop means? Do you guys know that? you know what a Spadef drop means, right? Like, it means the next hit will do more damage. And it was already looked like there was already a roll to begin with, and I can't fucking do it. Are you serious? Why did you swap? The psychic terrain was still up. You couldn't get hit by bullet punch. What the fuck? There was no downside here. It was a free kill. Literally nothing could switch into Shadow Ball either. Are you serious? Dude, what is wrong with you? I'm sorry. I'm being really mean right now. But what the fuck? Alright, anyways. Loses your leftovers for no goddamn reason. Anyways, Latias obviously is going to come back in here on a Fire Blast. Fine, whatever. That was the most obvious Latias swapping of all time. And Oris here is not going to quite one shot there. As Hero goes for Taunt to prevent Latias from Calm Minding. You should have just Calm Minding. Well, actually, nah, I mean, going for Oris here is fine. I don't know. It's like the same risk as like going for Calm Mind on that turn. Because like you're basically Calm Mind and or Sphere would let in the Flutter Mane, right? At this range. Obviously, don't want that to happen. So either you should have gone for a Calm Mind / Aura Sphere, or you should have like gone for a hard swap trying to predict Flutter Mane or something like that. That makes sense. That's a bit of a hard call to make. So yeah. Anyways, T-Ran's gonna go down there. Flutter Mane's gonna come in. We're gonna see a big Shadow Ball here probably. At my guy, do you see a Shadow Ball resist on this team? Do you see it? Because I don't. I really don't. Like, what incarnation is going on? Why did you click? Why did you click Burp Blast? That was literally the one bad thing you could have clicked. Literally just Shadow Ball. Okay, Solomon. Oh my god. You have a whole like Wigglytuff that you could just absorb the status, and I'm losing. I'm fucking losing it, dude. It's over, dude. All right, protect, taunt, another taunt. Wigglytuff tried to go for heal blow. No dice there. Nature's Madness and Seismic Tossing. You know, if you see, okay, look, if you see this taunt, right? Or sorry, not this taunt. You know, you protect, right? You see the top of the go for taunt, bro. Just like go to Flutter. I'm sorry, like I know it's a risky play, but like you're down already. You gotta need to get your momentum back. You can go into Flutter Mane, get your Shadow Ball kill. Like, come on, bro. Actually, get your Moonblast kill at this range, because now it's like impossible for you to not kill something with Moonblast. Yeah. I don't know. You can tell that the Wigglytuff is like not going to be able to do anything if it gets taunted. So like, why even stay in? Anyways, Dax attacks the cone. I'm kind of come in here. Goes for the Shadow Ball, knocks out the Lele. Scizor is going to come in here. Goes for fuck. So why didn't you just go for Shadow Ball on the last turn? What? Okay, sure, whatever, it's fine. Instead, you're just gonna go for the 70% accurate move. Yeah, okay, that's a lot safer. You're so right. Anyway, Shadow Ball's gonna knock on this guy. Bro, just go to Zekrom. Yeah. I guess Gecko was waiting out the terrain so that he could live this hit. Yeah, fair enough. Without that, he probably would have lost. Anyway, Zek, I don't think you're faster. Oh well, this game's already over. Adios comments in. Please hard swap to. Oh my god, is he gonna let him win? Oh my god, he's gonna let Gecko win. He's gonna let Gecko win. There's no way. There's no fucking way. Stop. Underway? On a. What is going on? That's too late. Oh my god. Why is it Thunderwave on fucking DOA? This is the most insane game I've ever seen in my life. I actually can't believe this. Alright. All right. I'm sorry. I know I was being very mean here, but I just can't help it. There were at least, like, if we're thinking about this in chess terms, there's at least 10 different blunders on both players' ends throughout this battle. And this battle only lasted 30 turns. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna move on. I apologize. Whatever. I'm sorry. I'm moving on. I don't want to talk about that game anymore. It's only gonna trigger me more. Anyways, next up we have Arcana versus Little Angry Joe, aka the Piplup Posse versus the Blockheaded Blastoises. So let's go ahead and start this game. Hopefully I'll be in a better mood. Eternatus leads off against Kyogre. It is Primal Kyogre, probably. We did ban regular Kyogre. I took the draft league from Smogon's samples draft leagues for Ubers. I don't necessarily agree with it now that I've like seen the drafting in process, but you know, whatever. Like, why the fuck is Xerneas without Geomancy and 30 points? I don't really know. Beats me. I have not seen any impressive showings of Xerneas so far, so you know there is that, and also like, I don't know. I mean, I think banning regular Kyogre and banning Primal Groudon makes sense. In a sense. Primal Kyogre is very, very strong, though. It's like, but again, it's kind of like the Dracovish issue, where it's like, it's something that's really, really strong, but like there is ways to get around it. You just have to prep for it. So, I don't know. That's the anyways, this is a good move. T-Spec set up against the Kyogre as the Kyogre goes for the Calm Mind immediately. We're gonna see the Ice Beam come out and do a decent chunk to Rotom. Rotom's gonna Volt Switch out. No item on the Rotom is interesting. I don't really know what that one. Well, I don't know what that item would be potentially. Anyways, Eternatus is gonna come back in here as Primal Kyogre for the Thunder. No para there, and we're gonna see the second layer of T-Spec be set up as Kyogre goes for yet another Calm Mind. Dynamax Ken is not gonna do jack shit at this point, and Kyogre is gonna knock out Eternatus with Origin Pulse right there. So I don't know. Are those T-Spikes going to be worth it in the long-term course of this game over losing your Eternatus? We'll see right here if that is the case. Zarude is going to come in. Giratina is going to swap in here. Get Toxic there as Zarude goes for the Power Whip. Yeah, makes sense. Don't want Kyogre to stay in there. Giratina is going to come in here. Goes for the Defog, so the spikes are going to be gone for the rest of this game since the T-Spike setter is gone. If Giratina has rest too, the Toxic is even going to last for very long here either. Magearna is going to go for Volt Switch here. We're going to see the switch out into Great Tusk. Okay, Giratina is going to come in back. And we're going to see Great Tusk go for Stealth Rock there into what? We're going to see Magearna swap back in. Okay. Giratina does have Rest, in fact. And so, yeah. It is Resto Chesto. Interesting set. I don't know if I would run that personally, but, you know, that's pretty cool. But, yeah. So, we do have Defog Giratina. It is going to be a pretty good checked Great Tusk, probably. I mean, if it's Fizz Death, at least. So yeah, anyways, RC Steel is going to come in here, and Magearna going to keep going for Volt Switch. Does a decent chunk there. Is this Specs Magearna? I feel like it's Specs. Anyways, Earth Power comes out from the Arceus Water, as Arceus Steel also sets up rocks and gets a Spidef drop, so he's going to have to swap out there. Plus, he is definitely a great check to Arceus Water here. I would probably double into... Oh, he's going to actually go to Great Tusk as the Light Screen. I don't know about the lights. I don't know about Light Screen Chansey. That was either a pretty free Toxic, or if you were predicting Magearna. I mean, you don't even need to predict Magearna on this scenario, right? If it's Specs, like you can just you can just stay in and like stop ball to see what it's gonna do. Like if it has Side Shock potentially, right? But yeah, anyways, Giratina is gonna come in here. Great Tusk is gonna go for the Headlong Rush, and it is gonna do a decent chunk to Giratina, all things considered, actually. Magearna is gonna come back in here as Giratina is gonna try to go for a Toxic there, but it does thought against the Magearna there. Yeah, Little Angry has no way to block Volt Switch from happening, so Magearna is going to definitely be going there that a lot. Giratina go for the rest here on the Focus Blast, so nice read from Little Angry Joe there. I would have stayed in there to burn a turn, because it definitely feels like this Magearna is Specs. And you could tell based on the damage he did to Arceus Steel or Blissey. Like, if you did the damage calcs, you would know that Magearna is Specs. It's definitely feeling like it's Specs right now. It looks like it's Specs too, but I can't tell for sure because I don't know the EVs on the bonds yet. But again, Little Angry Joe should know this by now, if he has been calculating throughout the battle, which you should be doing in a Draft League match, especially since there's no timer, right? Anyways, Zekrom is going to come in here on the CC. He's not going to do quite a lot there. Zekrom probably has the chance to Dragon Dance, but there's a whole ass Great Tusk, and he's going to go for Volt Strike. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, to be fair, yeah, of all the Great Tusk is a great answer to Zekrom, honestly. Just great physical defense, is immune to electric moves, and like Zekrom does not like getting locked into Outrage because then any fairy type can just beat it down afterwards. So yeah. Anyways, Giratina's gonna come in here. Headlong Rush is just gonna be doing too much though. It can't burn off the sleep turns in time before Great Tusk can knock it out. Yeah, like this is the first turn of sleep he's gonna burn down here, and like it's not going well. Yeah, Giratina's gonna go down here. But that being said, Great Tusk is out of Headlong Rushes, so maybe you can make something happen with the Zekrom now because thanks to pressure. But yeah, his Mewtwo's gonna come in here. Not sure what this is gonna do. We're gonna see Rotom Wash come in here, probably just to get sacked basically, as usually goes for Ice Beam. And we're gonna see Ice Beam again, so it actually might be Specs Mewtwo or something like that, or Scarf. I don't know. And his Zarudada is coming in here. Well, if it was Scarf, it would definitely stay in here, so it's definitely Specs. I'm surprised Specs Ice Beam only does like that much to Rotom Wash. But yeah, anyways, Darkest Lariat, gonna two-shot the RC Steel. Again, this is definitely a Scarf Zarud. I'm like 100% sure. Kyogre's gonna come in here, gonna get off a free Origin Pulse here, probably. Oh, we have Citrus Berry Rotom, and actually the Unnerve was blocking it on the Rotom previously from Mewtwo, which is actually pretty funny. But yeah, Orange Ball's definitely not gonna, like, Citrus Berry not gonna save Rotom at all. It is, yeah. And his Kyogre Promo is gonna come in, sorry, Zarude is gonna come in, knock out the Kyogre with the Power Whip. And now Little Angry Joe is gonna be a little bit harder for him to make this comeback from the looks of it. Great Tusk is gonna come in here. We're gonna see a Dragon Dance into an Outrage potentially, but it's not gonna do that much here. Great Tusk is going to go for the knockoff. Again, he did run out of Headlong Rushes here, so... but yeah, if we get a 2-turn Outrage, he might actually win. Unfortunately for Little no 2-turn Outrage. Yeah, if it was a 2-turn Outrage, potentially +1 Boltrick might have been able to pick up the KO against Magearna. Actually, no, Zarudada would have been able to come in afterwards and just knock it out, actually. So, no, there's no saving it. Zarudada would have just come in earlier, and then, yeah. But now, Magearna goes for Psyshock. It is +1 with the Soul Heart. Blissey's going to come in here. And yeah, as I said, I was pretty sure it was Specs, yeah. So, gonna get +2 Soul Heart now with Specs. With the Light Screen, though, Mewtwo can definitely take at least one Psyshock here. Now, we're gonna see the Nasblock come out. As Psyshock comes, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. Scarf Root is gonna knock it out no matter what happens. And it looks like Magearna is actually gonna be the one to take the KO here. So, yeah, Arcana's gonna win with a 3-0 there. Pretty well played on both ends, honestly. I don't know. I think both players played pretty well. I don't know. There's a little bit of questionable plays with like the Light Screen on Blissey, but like, you know, it's like also it wasn't Specs Mewtwo. But yeah, okay, I figured. Okay, actually in that case, why did you go for Ice Beam on the Rotom then? I don't know why that was happening. I don't know why that happened. I know. I guess Little Angry Joe was just trying to predict this Zarude come in, which, you know, fair enough. I can see that. But like at the same time, I think Arcana was thinking this Rotom is not very useful in this game anymore because it's such low health, it can't really counter Kyogre anyways. So I think he was just trying to sack it, right? And so that Zarude can come in cleanly afterwards to pick up a KO against Mewtwo. So I think that's probably why he stayed in there, and you probably should have realized that. But I mean, other than that, like I think he was playing fine. But yeah, I don't know. Actually, the Giratina seems like it wasn't like Fizdef Giratina, which is a little odd considering there's a whole Great Tusk. I don't know why you were running like... It seemed like it was Spadef Giratina, and I don't really see why you would need to do that, especially against this team. But anyways, we're going to move on to the next game. Yeah, we got Bari versus Kristoff here. So the Boston Brelooms versus the Fairysong Froslasses. Is it still Fairysong Froslasses? No, it's not. Is it? It is still Fairysong Froslasses. Okay, cool. I'm making sure. Anyways, yeah, Boston Brelooms, Fairysong Froslasses. Let's start. We got a Sun team here, and then a team that wishes it had Sun on the other end. So, got the music on. My bad. Continue. Groudon leading off against Arceus Ground here. Ice Beam's gonna start off the match, and Groudon's gonna get a Crypt Precipice Blades there, and with the leftovers it has, it is gonna be out of range for the second Ice Beam. So yeah, it looks like Arceus Ground is gonna have to switch after that unfortunate crit turn 1 there. We're gonna see Bari go for a Xerneas swap here as the Arceus goes for recover. Okay, you know, fair enough. Amoonguss is gonna come in as the Grass Knot comes down and does jack shit, obviously, because this is Grass Knot gets a 4x resist and is also relatively light. Yeah. Anyways, oh, okay, hold on. Let me back up a bit. Yeah, the Grassnot comes out. But yeah, Amoonguss. Yeah, at this point, Barry was trying to predict the Spore here, so that's why he went into Lilligant. But unfortunately for him, he does get the call wrong, and Amoonguss is going to go for the Sludge Bomb and basically make this Lilligant pretty useless. Faraday's going to come in here as the Victory Dance comes out. Okay. Honestly, I don't know why Stone didn't just go for the second Sludge Bomb. Because, like, Triple Axle, I doubt would kill, yeah, I don't, like, even if Lilligant had Triple Axe, I doubt it would kill Amoonguss at that, like, from full. Definitely not. Without any boosting items. Yeah, so I think you should just went for the second Sludge Bomb. I don't know why he went to Ferrothorn here. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, yeah, now you just lose the Ferrothorn for no reason. You could have kept your Amoonguss. You could have kept the Ferrothorn for later on to get stuff, get a Flex or something. Like, I don't know. Anyways, Grimnir Snarl is gonna come in here. We're gonna see a taunt as the Regieleki just goes straight for the Volt Switch into Xerneas here. Stone is probably just gonna go hard into Amoonguss. We're gonna see a Regieleki pivot in on the Amoonguss swap. I don't know why Regieleki came into all things. If you were gonna predict a swap there, definitely I would have gone to Chi-Yu there and then just gotten a big Specs overheat off or something like that. Or Dark Pulse, honestly, considering like hello. Chi-Yu is very strong, but without like, it is a little bit more manageable in Ubers if you have something like Ho-Oh, right? So, and here's Light Screen. We're gonna see Spore finally. So, Groudon's gonna come in here on the Grimmsnarl pivot. We're gonna see. I assume we're gonna see a screen setup as we see the bulk. We see the bulk up on Groudon. Quite interesting there. Interesting why it's bulk up too. I would have thought Groudon would have run Swords Dance personally, but it does get Swords Dance, right? Not tripping. Pretty sure it gets Swords Dance. Anyways, Precipice Blade is going to be doing a little close to half of the Arceus Ground's health, but not quite enough. Arceus Ground definitely going to be living this overall unless we see another bulk up from Groudon or we see the Reflect wear off or whatever. Okay, we're going to see a secondary bulk up there, and Arceus is going to die to Precipice Blade, but unfortunately we do see the miss there. Groudon does lose a screen as well. Oh, man. That's very unfortunate there. Arceus Ground is going to win that 1v1, so Barry is going to pivot out into Xerneas there. Ice Beam, not going to quite do anything there, obviously. We see Xerneas go for the Aromatherapy, so Regieleki is now awake again, but that being said, now Amoonguss can just go for Spore. Regieleki is going to come back in after the Giratina gets slept, and we're going to see the foul play from Regieleki, okay? Light Screen going to get set up as Sludge Bomb comes out. And we're going to see a pivot out into Chi-Yu as Amoonguss goes into Arceus Ground here. Now, Chi-Yu probably was just going to stand. Yeah, goes for the overheat. Not going to do much to Ho-Oh, as I said. Yeah, like... I think that was a pretty free Dark Pulse, all things considered, but alright. I guess with your Giratina slept, maybe not. Considering that then Complaisant can start doing some weird shit. Anyways, Xerneas comes in on the Spirit Break, -1 special attack, and like definitely not going to be able to do anything here. Moonblast is still going to do a good chunk, all things considered, with the screen up and all things. Yeah. Anyways, going to see Giratina swap in here as the Amoonguss. Nice. Just trying to burn turns of sleep, I'm assuming. So Giratina is going to wake up at this turn, and we're going to see the Poltergeist come out. Does a lot of damage. No, actually, that didn't do as much as I thought it would. Foul Play is going to keep Giratina down to half, and we're probably going to see... Oh, we're going to see Defog here as Amoonguss goes for Spore again to keep the Giratina slept. Chi is going to come in here on the Foul Play again. And we're going to see what Chi go for. We're going to see Groudon come in. Okay. On the Ho-Oh, I'm assuming? Yeah, okay. I'm assuming he's faster than the Ho-Oh too and has a Stone Edge. So, yeah, Stone Edge does come out. Not going to quite land there because Kristoff does read that. Goes to Arceus Ground. Chi is going to come in. Why did Chi come in? What? Huh? Question mark. That was definitely a question mark play there. At that point, Judgment was very, very free. Because like all that would have happened, like the worst thing that could have happened, Giratina comes in because it's Levitate, right? And then it like dodges Judgment. But like Arceus Ground still has Ice Beam, and the Giratina has burned 0 turns of sleep. So like I have no idea why Bari just sacked Chi-Yu of all things. If anything, I think Groudon was a sack. Well, I don't know. Actually, if you lose Groudon, maybe you have no way of really dealing with Ho-Oh. I don't know. Regieleki seems pretty useless, actually, now I'm thinking about it. That was probably the sack, actually. On closer inspection. I don't know why you sacked Chi-Yu of all things. That really might have cost you the game, honestly. Okay, they said All right, anyways. Yeah, I think Barry should have definitely gone to Regieleki there. I don't. And now you just like Arceus Ground get back up to full. That's worse. Xerneas gonna come back in on the Judgment. No, on Rocks. Okay, yeah, fair enough. And yeah, I mean, that actually does so much, all things considered. Like Moonblast doing 39 at Moongus is crazy. I think this might be Specs Xerneas though. But yeah. Sludge Bomb to foul play. Gonna knock out the Giratina there. We're gonna see Regieleki come back in. Since this, yeah, I don't know. Barry really has no other options right now at this point. I don't think he's gonna come out. No need to. I think Arceus Ground just wins at this point, even without the screens up. Yeah, Giga Drain. Oh, Moongus is just gonna take the win. It looks like Light Screen again. Sludge Bomb knocks it out. Moonblast, and then 2 Sludge Bombs gonna knock it out. Wow. Never seen a Moongus take so many kills. But yeah, okay, sure. I think that was like 4 kills for a Moongus on game 1. That's crazy. But yeah, Moongus the Uber Slayer. I got my thumbnail. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Barry, I think there's just like a couple of key turns that Barry missed out on. Yeah, over predicting the Spore with Lilligant definitely cost him a little bit. I thought you didn't make it up with the fact that Kristoff choked right afterwards and went to Ferrothorn for some reason. Yeah, I think Kristoff went to Ferrothorn on that turn after the Lilligant got down to Sash, just to try to like kill the Lilligant with Iron Barbs, and he was predicting a triple axle, but like that was so greedy. There's no need to. You just Sludge Bomb again. There's really no reason not to do that, and he got punished for it. So yeah. But yeah, sacking Chiyu was definitely a mistake as well. I would have sacked Regieleki at that point. There's no need for that thing to stay alive at that point. Or like literally anything else, right? Like Arceus Ground was going for Judgment. There was no other play there. So yeah, definitely would have sacked Regieleki if I were you. Then you could use Chiyu potentially to break with the Sun Up, maybe. I don't know, but there's a whole ass Ho-Oh. I don't know. There's like, I don't know. I mean, this is also just a bad matchup in general. Like, everything on your team got walled by something. So really was just a hard matchup overall, unfortunately there. So yeah. Anyways, we're just gonna move on to the next game here. Next up, we got Wiggly versus 8-Bit Runner, aka the Renegade Roserades versus the Empire Emboars. So let's go again and get that started. We have another team with Groudon, Chiyu, and Lilligant. Oh wait, sorry, no, that was on 2 different teams. But the Groudon and Lilligant was on the same team, not the Chiyu. Now that's gonna make it a lot scarier. And a Chansey's gonna lead off here. Chansey leading off against Groudon. That's kind of crazy. All right, I never see a Chansey lead. Okay, we got the Rocks handshake. Okay, sure. Anyways, Arceus Ground. Again, we're gonna have this matchup again, but this time the Groudon Toxics the Arceus Ground there, and Ice Beam is doing a little bit less than last time. Precipice Blade is doing a little bit more than last time, so a little bit of different investment there can make all the difference. Yeah, Recovery is gonna come out, but like Precipice Blade is gonna make sure, plus the Toxic is gonna make sure that Arceus Ground cannot get anything done here. Another Ice Beam comes out and it's gonna do. Okay, so that was just a mid to max roll. That's crazy. But yeah, anyways, Groudon is gonna knock out that there, and we're gonna see Ho-Oh come in, but pivot back into Roaring Moon immediately afterwards as Wiggly was trying to predict a Stone Edge, and she does get it, but like, no, I didn't just go to Roaring Moon U-turn in the first place. I don't really know. Anyways, U-turn's gonna knock out the ground on there. We're gonna see Ho-Oh come back in, and we're gonna see Marshadow pivot in here. I guess maybe Technician Rock Tomb could come out, and it does, and it. Okay, I'm gonna be surprised. I didn't think that would kill, all things considered, but I mean, it is Technician boosted, it is a Marshadow, it is Life Orb boosted, but at the same time, I've seen Ho-Oh live some ridiculous shit, so I'm just surprised it killed. Anyways, Ho-Oh is down. If I were Wiggly, yeah, I mean, you have a whole Xerneas. If it was Scarf, like, and it looks like it is Scarf based on the fact it just came in right now. Yeah, definitely would have done that personally. And his Moonblast is going to do 50 here. After Rock, Scream Tip. Well, Protect is going to... No Protect comes out. And we're going to see the minutes the roll possible. That's crazy. But, wow. These is the rolls have been kind of insane this game. We got 39 to 46 on the Ice Beam. And then we got 50 to 43 on the Moonblast. So, yeah. Pretty wild, all things considered. Anyways, Chi is going to come in here. Probably just going to blow up and act like he don't know nobody. Or if he does miss, though, unfortunately. But I mean, it is Chansey. Chansey was going to take that. Yeah, 41. Crazy that it does that much in the first place, considering this is a EV like Chansey, but yeah. Thunderwave, and we're gonna see another para. Not another para. We're gonna see a para, and yeah, Chi does not have a lot of. Oh, well, Wiggly was trying to predict the probably the Marshadow to come in, which is that's why I went for the Thunderwave there. If I were Wiggly, just recover. Oh, or Healing Wish, sure, okay, fine. Anyways, Chi paralyzed against a thing that resisted and like -4 special attack, and is going for Dragon Dance. Yeah, Ambient Runner probably should have been staying in all that time. I would say he's just trying to sack it, but Wiggly was capitalizing off of that and just using that to get free turns. So yeah, definitely. Like, just keep in mind, guys. Like, definitely don't just like stay in if you think your mon is useless. Like, if it seems obvious what your opponent is gonna do, you can capitalize on that, right? So like, even if something is basically useless and it has no more use anymore, I would just still swap it out, keep it as a sack for later on in the game, and then like take advantage of that. Like, you probably could have gotten a Lilligant, for example. Well, actually, I guess you couldn't really have. It's not safe. I mean, you could. Okay, you definitely could have gone a Thunderous at any time against the Chansey. It's like taking Seismic Toss doesn't matter that much, and you can absorb the Thunder Wave. I think you could go for Taunt if you have that to like block Chansey from doing anything besides that toss, and then you can do clean switching into Marshadow afterwards. Anyways, we got Roy Moon set up +2 with the booster energy intact. And Marshadow is gonna come in here, but it's definitely gonna die to knockoff. Yeah, that crit definitely didn't matter. Lilligant's gonna come in here. Lilligant is gonna tank it, actually, gonna knock this thing out with the close combat most likely, and it is going to do that. But at this point, we got a very low health Lilligant against Xerneas and Chi-Yu, and the Chi-Yu's paralyzed, and this thing's probably Scarf, and this game's definitely over. But yeah, I guess no, there's no way Abrona could have gotten out of that. He just has no fairy resist. Like, there's just no fairy resist. Like, the Scarf Xerneas just goes crazy anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure could have let off like just get a little bit of chip on like things like Groudon and some Chi-Yu and a little bit on Screamtail. Like, you just win immediately with Xerneas. But yeah, Abrona had a really bad matchup here. All things considered, though, kinda I don't know. I don't know how he was gonna get out of that. Probably use Lilligant, but like Lilligant doesn't even kill Xerneas, even with like a Banded Leaf Blade. I would figure. Like, I don't even know. Seems like a very hard matchup in general. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next game here. We got Driftveil Delibirds up against excuse me. Up against the Faraway Farfetch'd. But yeah, go ahead and get that started. We're going to see Arceus Poison lead off against Scizor here. We're going to see a immediate swap out into Tinglu as the Arceus goes for a Will-O-Wisp. Okay. Getting the Tinglu burned immediately is pretty nice. We're going to see a Taunt right afterwards, so now Tinglu can't go for a Stealth Rock or Spikes or whatever. After this, if I were Zadash, I would probably pivot out, but no, he's going to go for Sludge Bomb here. Ruination not going to... I mean, he's going to do a lot, obviously, because it does have health. Recover... Another Ruination. I don't know why Zadash is really staying in at this point. I probably would have... I definitely would have pivoted out into something like Cure and White. Or... Well, I guess Cure and White does a lot of damage. Like, take a lot of damage from Ruination. I don't know if you would want that to happen. But, like, this is not getting you any progress. So, at the same time, like, definitely I wouldn't be doing that either. Oh, we're going to see a Blaziken come in on the Ruination miss, which is actually pretty big there. We're gonna see probably Blaziken go for the Swords Dance on this turn because most likely this Tinglu doesn't even have Earthquake. We're just and then +2, +1. Blaziken gonna go for the close combat, and it is not gonna quite pick up the KO even with the Life Orb, and Arceus Water is gonna take out the Blaziken right then and there. Fluttermane is gonna go ahead and pick up the Revenge KO though, so that's good, but at the same time, pretty worrying there. Losing your biggest hitter turn 1 is not a great feeling. Aegislash gonna come in here. U-turn. Bullet Punch not gonna do anything there. As Tinglu is gonna come in here. Yeah, obviously not gonna do much. Aegislash not gonna do anything against that Tinglu. Fire Zadash. Well, I mean, at the same time, like, it's Scizor. You know, it's gonna get free U-turns. I don't know if switching was even the right play. Samurai's gonna come in here though. All things considered, Razor Shell looks pretty good here. We're gonna see the flip turn though. Okay, Arceus Poison gonna come back in. Obviously, Scizor does not want anything of that. I would probably hard swap if I were here from Zadash. Okay, no hard swap. Hard to make that call though, all things considered, just because like the rocks are up on your end. You want Arceus to be healthy, so it's fair enough that he wanted to stay in. But you know, I think in this meta, like after playing it for a little bit, it just feels like I don't know if you want your Arceus to really be sticking around in the game. Like I feel like it's very hard. It's very easy to wear down Arceus because you know I can't run an item, right? So, anyways, I've been like ignoring the game. Anyways, I do see two Sleeceless Edges come out there as Scizor is going to decide to take the kill over Samurai. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if Frog were to get into a Roost loop there, would have been pretty bad. As Cure and White's gonna come in as the Lunala comes in. Okay, we're gonna see a Moonblast do a lot of damage there. Gets the special attack drop too. Kyurem Sludge Ball, Shadow Ball, sorry, not gonna be doing much there. Yeah, Lunala just gonna go for a Roost there. Moongeist Beam is not gonna quite knock out Aegislash. It does a lot though, and we I think that's quite literally game. Just missing that Toxic was enough, I think. Yeah. If Zadash has Shadow Sneak, maybe it's not over because then you can go Flutter Mane after. No, he's not gonna reveal Shadow Sneak. Yeah. Kyurem's gonna come back in here. Moonblast is gonna get the critical hit, which unfortunate, honestly, because it looked like from the last roll, Moonblast had a chance to not kill. So yeah, I don't know. Flutter Mane is gonna come in here. We're gonna see a sub come out. That's definitely not it. Yeah, Frog would definitely keep spamming Moongeist Beam there. Yeah, Moongeist Beam is gonna take out the Flutter Mane, and Arceus Poison is pretty much gonna lose here. But I'm not gonna do anything to the Lunala. We're gonna see her. Okay, just kill it, dude. just fucking kill it. All right, I'm just gonna skip through these turns. Anyways, yeah, Zadash gonna get 5-0'd there. Yeah, I think just the toxic miss on Aegislash literally just kind of cost him the entire game, which is kind of crazy to think about. Because like if that toxic landed, then you know like Flutter Mane comes out, gets a bunch of Shadow Ball / Moonblast off, and like it looks really scary in this game. Seriously, like Chien-Pao does speed tie with it, but yeah, I don't know. With substitute up, like Flutter Mane could potentially like avoid like sucker punches and stuff. So yeah, it would have been a lot more scary if that toxic did land on the Lunala earlier. But yeah. Anyways, I think yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about this game. So let's move on. The late week one battle finally has been filled, so we can finally talk about this one, the newer battle. We got Pops here, so repping the Mooney 5 Lunalas as tribute to one of our players versus the Meteoric Miniors, I believe. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and get started. Zeraora leads off against Galvantula here. Interesting. We're gonna see Sasanto come in as the. So yeah, okay. Astro was predicting a taunt from the Zeraora, so he tried to go into Sasanto, but Zeraora, this Zeraora does not have taunt, so he just went for knockoff immediately. Gets rid of the leftovers on Sasanto, which is gonna be pretty big. Hearthplane comes out predicting the Grass Knot. He does get it, and Zeraora is gonna have to be forced to Volt Switch here. Zygarde is gonna come in here as Ogerpon goes for the Power Whip, which does a lot, all things considered. Right. Taunt comes out, blocks the Toxic, which is nice tech. We're gonna see Terapagos come in here. I don't know why Terapagos would come in on a forced attack, though. Yeah, you just lose your Terra Shell for no reason. And Jirachi is gonna come in here. Definitely not a great swap in there. Oh, JK is Encore. All right, fine. Ogerpon's back out. Sure. Encore is gonna keep it going though, so yeah, he's gonna just go for the power, get some damage as Dragon Tail comes out and knocks out the Ogre. Phases out the Ogerpon. Lazda comes back in, and we're gonna see Clefable swap in here on the Ice Punch. Okay. Joboku Berry is crazy. And actually, I think, yeah, Joboku Berry is very crazy considering there is a Marshadow here. If Astro's only stab option with Marshadow besides Shadow Sneak is Poltergeist, then he is going to have a rough time with dealing with that Clefable there. So yeah, very good play if that is the case. Anyways, Knockoff comes out as a Toxic comes out. Yeah, I don't know why Saizento going for Toxic against Clefable. This is clearly a Magikarp Clefable. Well, I mean, you can't tell immediately, but like, come on, it's definitely Magic Guard. Let's be real. Let's be so for real, you know. Toxic comes out. Yeah, poison the Silent Toad, which is pretty bad for the Silent Toad. Yeah, the Toxic lands, but like, you're not doing anything here, you know. Anyways, Earthquake comes out. Clearly just gonna spam knockoff, just trying to get it. Yeah, I guess Pops is trying to predict the swap and just trying to get an item off there, but Astro's not gonna let it, and Silent Toad is gonna go down there. Silent Toad seems to have only been brought anyways for Pops' potential Primal Kyogre, so I guess doesn't really. Anyways, Zeraora is gonna pivot in against the U-turn Jirachi and going to pivot out into Galvantula here. Knockoff comes out, knocks off the Sash, and it is going to knock out the Galvantula, but not before the Galvantula sets up webs. And Terapagos is going to come in here. We're going to see the swap here with Volt Switch into Necrozma Dongwings as Terapagos goes for the Earth Power. It's not going to do too much there. Nose to Death Drop into a Dark Pulse, which does over half of Necrozma's remaining health and gets a flinch. So Necrozma is going to be forced to swap here. Arceus Dark is going to come in as the Terapagos goes for another Dark Pulse. Obviously trying to finish off the Necrozma. And yeah, Earth Power is going to come out. Not going to do much though. Judgment is going to two-shot the Terapagos here, and Astro really has no good switch in, so he's just going to go for another Earth Power, trying to get a split F drop. No dice. Terapagos is going to go down to the follow-up Judgment. Marshadow is going to come in, and we're going to see the Clefable pivot back in here as Marshadow goes for the low kick. Not going to do much, obviously, because it's a Clefable. And I mean, yeah. Sorry, my music got paused. Let me just. You know what? I wanna listen to this again. I really like this. Emboars good, has good music. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted. Marshadow is gonna come back in, go for the low kick, right? But yeah, he is switching out, which means he definitely only has Poltergeist last, which means this Clefable super walls this Marshadow, which is pretty crazy. Ogerpon for Heart Flame is gonna come out here as the Clefable goes for the softball here. We're gonna see a Swords Dance as Ogerpon gets Toxic there. I don't know if that's worth it though, because Pops is gonna lose a Mon basically here. Oh wait, no, Zamatento's gonna. Oh, it is Boots. Okay, so it is not. Yeah. Oh my god. Surprising that Zamatento. I mean, thanks to that Dauntless Shield, Zamatento did live that, and now Ogerpon is going to dodge a Crunch plus Toxic as Zamatento also goes down for the Power Whip. Yeah. Okay. So Zeraora is gonna come in here, another Boots Mon against Jirachi. Jirachi's gonna get knocked off immediately right now, and Jirachi's gonna go for a U-turn here as Zeraora is gonna come in here. Thing is, Pop has a very free Clefable to come in now because he knows this thing only has Poltergeist. He can't touch the Clefable at all. Jirachi's gonna come in here as the Clefable keeps itself at full health just to make sure that it doesn't lose to Marshadow. As Zygarde's gonna come in here. Ironhead's gonna come out, does a decent amount of damage, but now that Zygarde is below half health, he's gonna go into the Power Construct, the complete form. Ironhead is doing 12%. Yeah, I mean, if I pops, you just spam 1000 arrow. Okay, but if Jirachi just gets like 11 flinches, oh, Zeraora comes in on the U-turn. That was a crazy U-turn. All right, well, that doesn't really matter though, because like Clefable's just gonna come in, it's gonna take the hit. Yeah, Astro would have to like continuously make swaps and like, no, okay, what Astro needed to do, he just needs to kill the Jirachi. He just needs to kill everything with Jirachi. He needs to flinch everything. Like that's all. That's his only out, unfortunately. All right, yeah, Posse tries to make the switch into Arceus Dark there for some reason, but it doesn't work out. Anyways, yeah, Clefable's back up to full. Dark guy's gonna come in. We're gonna see a failed encore attempt. We're gonna see a crit flinch. Okay, making progress. Another Ironhead comes out, and it doesn't get a flinch. Okay, the game's over. Anyways, Marshadow, Clefable's gonna come in, probably just gonna go for the Moonblast and seal the game here. Marshadow's like doing 32%, pretty good there. Oh, he's gonna go for Toxic for some reason. Okay. Up one. Okay, so he probably didn't have. Oh yeah, right. He didn't have Moonblast on his Clefable. I remember that. Which is crazy to me, by the way. It's not an optional thing to not have Moonblast. Like, I don't know, man. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Personally speaking, definitely would have brought Shadow Spectral Thief here if I were Astro. Just because of like that potential itemless Clefable that comes out, right? Like, and also like, I don't know. Personally, like I've seen when I look at Marshadows online, like honestly, I see it run like Shadow Sneak, Spectral Thief, and Poltergeist all in the same set with low click. So like, you know, like it's just something to keep in mind. You know, you can run 3 Ghost Stabs. I understand why he brought Ice Punch because there's a whole Zygarde, but. I think Spectral Thieving it makes a lot more sense anyway. And with Webs Up, like you'll probably be able to steal those whatever boost that the Zygarde might accrue. So yeah. Anyways, gonna move on to the next game here. Grading chart up against Viabolt, Vickabolt, whatever. I don't know. Anyways, Dayton Dewgongs versus the Aegislash agency. Sorry, I almost forgot. Anyways, I'm getting a little tired. I have to narrate so many games. Anyways, Tinglu leads off against Slurpuff here. We're gonna see the web setup as we're gonna see hazard trading. Yawn from the Slurpuff is pretty crazy as Tinglu tries to set up another layer of spikes, and we just see a Dazzling Gleam. And Tinglu is deciding to stay in here. Goes with the Earthquake on the red card into Iron Treads, which gets a big damage off. But now the Tinglu's gonna go to sleep. Grading chart definitely should be going. What? What? Why? You have a whole Giratina origin. Why didn't you block the spin? What? That's crazy. That is crazy, dude. That is crazy. And he just let, what the fuck? Why would you not block the spin with your Giratina origin? That's like the whole reason why Giratina is so good. I'm mad. I'm angry. Anyways, why is Arceus Stark saying it against a Dazzling Gleam Coco? The world may never know. It's working though. It's working. I'm scared. I'm scared for Vickabolt here. And Arceus Dragon. Okay, never mind. I'm not scared anymore. And graded chart. What? Why? Literally, why? I need an explanation here, please. Why would you just? Like, if I were you, I would just try to win that 1v1, dude. Why would you just sack Giratina that quick? You know what? The world may never know, honestly. I don't know. His Melmetal's gonna get burned, which is crazy. I don't. Wisp Call Mind Judgment is crazy. His definitely last move is Recover too, which is even crazier. Does Grading Chart not have a Fairy type? That's a crazy set. All things considered, I'll be honest. No, it's Flame. What? Arceus without Flamethrower, without Recover is crazy. I'm gonna be so for real. Anyways, Lomo's gonna come in on the Flamethrower. Sure. We're gonna see Coco pivot in. Lomo goes for Wish, I'm assuming. No, goes for Toxic. It's an unfortunate miss there, which kind of sucks. Protect. U-turn. Does this even have Thunderbolt? It does. It does. These sets are kind of weird. Theres Wish sends it back into Tinglu. Sure. Yeah, Tinglu is asleep though. I don't know why Grading Chart sacked their Tinglu to sleep. That made no sense. Anyways, 1000 Waves Zygarde coming out here, so now Tinglu is stuck here. Tinglu probably has Whirlwind though, so I don't know why Vickabolt is trying to choose this target to set up on. I would have gotten my damage off here before he. Oh, Ruination. Yeah, Vickabolt, I would get your damage off right now. Yep, you got Whirlwind. Yep. And Grassland is gonna actually just take out Tinglu right away. Oh god. Life Orb Circuitry go kind of ham. That is a Zoroark. But doesn't matter, even with the scarf. It's gonna get knocked out by Circuitry. Circuitry's not gonna die. RC Dark comes in, free Rising Voltage again. Oh, I'm gonna see Coco coming. Okay. Predicts the E-speed, I suppose. I don't know. What? I don't know why he swapped out. Like that was okay. Apparently just read that extreme speed with his life, apparently. You know what? Oh no. I'm sorry. I didn't understand your understand your flow. That's my bad. Melmetal's gonna come out, it's gonna die anyway, so Melmetal dies to Thunderbolt, and then Arceus Dark dies to Dazzling Gleam there, so Coco is gonna take the win there. Okay, I'm flabbergasted that Vickabolt thought that the Arceus Dark would have extreme speed on a fucking Calm Mind Judgment set, but you know what? You got me, you know? It literally, the only thing would have mattered was differential, but he preserved that shit with his life, so... Okay, that was such a stupid switch, honestly. I'm sorry, I have to go back to it. Like, what if this thing had Earth Power? Like, like why would you do that? Why would you do that? What if this thing had Earth Power? What if? You know what I mean? Like, you're insane. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next game. Yeah. Oh, hey, it's me. Yay. My one win before I lose forever. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I didn't win. Or did I win? I don't know. Find out. Arceus Fairy leads off against Heatran. My ass is like, yeah, I'm a taunt that shit. Turn 1. Yep. Very solid. I'm gonna break the balloon. Turn 2. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, you were seeing a master at his work here, and I'm gonna taunt again because I know some dumb. Oh, I went for a. I'm gonna taunt now because I don't want this Arceus grass to do anything stupid. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go Rotom Heat. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, let me commentate this normally. Anyway, Sunsteel Strike. Not gonna do much to my Rotom. I just go for. I think I go for Thunder Wave here. Yeah, you know, because I'm a nice guy. You know, I want to spread that yellow magic to everyone. I want everyone to feel loved by the magic of the color yellow. So, anyways, go for the Thunder Wave there. I kind of think he wouldn't stay in here, so I went for Volt Switch, but he does stay in, which is kind of weird. Anyways, I go to Arceus Fairy because I have no idea what he's going to go for, and Arceus Grass is going to go for the full para, which is interesting strategy. You know, I personally wouldn't have done that myself, but you know. Anyways, Arceus Fairy. So Galia is going to come in here. I go for Taunt again because, again, I don't know what this Arceus Grass is planning. Don't want any shenanigans on my end, you know? Anyways, Solgaleo is... I just go Ferrothorn this time around because, again, like, I don't know what the Solgaleo is going to go for. I don't want... Like, if I'm going to have something get knocked off, for example, I don't want my Rotom to lose their boots, so I just go to Ferrothorn here. My Ferrothorn has a Chople Berry because I was worried about Ogerpon Cornerstone Superpower, and that was kind of one of the reasons why I brought Ferrothorn. Also for Solgaleo too, but that's some sense. But yeah, also for Feeny. But yeah, anyways, Feeny's gonna come in here. I just go for the Leech Seed here because, like, why not? I do get the miss there, kind of unfortunate, but you know, it kind of it makes up for the paras, the full paras that the Arceus Grass a little bit. Anyways, I go Gliscor here, free walls the Heatran, you know, and I just go for Spikes here because obviously the Heatran's not gonna stay in there. I go for Protect. That was a little bit of a misplay. Yeah, Tapu Fini has Calm Mind. I was a little bit... So the reason why I went for Protect there, I was a little bit worried that the Fini could have been like Scarf Trick, maybe. That being said, if I just let my Gliscor got tricked, like, it'd been fine because then the Fini would have gotten a Toxic Orb. I mean, to be fair, it has Misty Terrain up, so it's like, it can't get poisoned anyway. But yeah, I was a little bit worried about Scarf Trick, so that's why I protected there. Calm Mind does come out there. I'm just like, okay, well... This is definitely a little misplay by me. I went to Arceus Fairy instead of just going straight to Ferrothorn. Again, in this scenario, I was a little bit worried about Taunt from the Fini. So I wanted to see if I could get the Taunt. I wanted to try to Taunt the Fini first before I went to Ferrothorn. That being said, it is doing a lot more damage than I anticipated. It was like a max special attack Tapu Fini, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so I realized I realized my mistake there. I just go straight into Ferrothorn now, and then I just go for the Leech Seed, trying to get some of my health back there. Arceus Grass does come in to block the Leech Seed, though, so very good plays from Ozzy Wazzy here. I go into Rotom here on the Arceus Grass, going for whatever that was. Turns out I think his set was like Thunder Wave, Judgment, Ice Beam, Recover, or some shit like that. So it actually had no way to beat my Rotom, which really makes me question why he even stayed in on this turn to begin with. But yeah, he's trying to Thunder Wave my Rotom. I don't really get it. Anyways, I just go for Volt Switch here. Like, I don't know what his last moves could be, so I just go into Arceus. I'm a little scared. I get the para there, and I was like, yeah, he got third para there, I think. It was just really unfortunate. I do like my games to be not luck based, but you know, I'm getting a little lucky here. But yeah, Thunder Wave does come out and paralyzes my Arceus Fairy there. So yeah, I just go for Taunt again because I know he's gonna go for Recover. I should have just killed him, as it turns out, but like, actually, I don't know if Judgment would have killed at that range, but yeah. Anyways, Solgaleo is gonna come in here. I got Parad, which, you know, fair enough, all things considered. I go to Gliscor here as we see the teleport into Champao. Little worried about if it's Swords Dance Champao. It is a bit scary, but if it's banded, I think I'll be fine. So I just go for Protect here, just a scout. If it is Swords Dance, I know I just lose them on. But if it is not Swords Dance, I can determine that. I can go into Rotom Heat Rotom Heat and or a Dark Resist on whatever move it goes for. I do get an unfortunate dodge there. Yeah, it sucks. Rotom Heat would have taken like 30% from that. It's like, yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, Yveltal's gonna come in here. I go for the free Volt Switch here. Yeah, go into Gliscor. I'm like, I want to set up more hazards because I'm a bad person. Oh no, I have Toxic. I mean, yeah, I'm still a bad person. But yeah, anyways. Anyways, Tapu Fini is gonna come back in here. I know now. Just go straight to Ferrothorn. If he had taunt, he would have gone for that already. So yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to Ferrothorn now. He goes Calm Mind. He goes for second Calm Mind. I go for the Leech. I go for the Leech Seed on this turn, and I go for the Knock on the next turn. Moonblast is gonna do a decent chunk, and it is probably gonna beat me down. But getting rid of the leftovers, getting the Leech Seed on it, and with Spike Up, you know, the Fini's not going to be doing much more in the future here, especially since it doesn't have Dragon Kiss. I go for the Gyro Ball on this turn because, you know, I want to do as much damage to the Fini as I can before I go down. And yeah, I do happen to catch the Arceus Grass on the switch there. Anyways, Champa is going to come in here. No reason to let this thing set up potentially still. So I'm just going to go straight for the Gyro Ball here and just let my Ferrothorn die. Turns out he goes for Crunch, and I do live that barely. I did calc later. I think it was a roll to kill. He probably should have gone for Icicle Crash instead. But yeah, I do live that on a sliver, and I am able to knock out the Chien-Pao immediately. It just kind of sealed the game for me, basically, just because at this point, that was the biggest threat to my team. And now, like, Yveltal's poisoned. There's only, like, a Solgaleo who's clearly got, like, a defensive set. We have a Tapu Fini that is already at half health without his leftovers. And then has the Heatran is basically not going to be much of a factor in this fight, unfortunately. So yeah, he does knock me out with Surf here. I'm definitely not going to preserve the Ferrothorn at this point. And I go into Zacian here, and now here is the thing. So this Tapu Fini I can knock out with +1 Play Rough. But I do note something else, right? So if I do have Crunch, and a +1 Crunch will 2-shot Solgaleo based on the damage calcs I was doing with it. I could figure +1 Crunch would kill it after 2 hits. So I decide to go for Crunch here. Reason being, if the Tapu Fini does decide to stay and go for Moonblast or whatever, I would take like 40%, and you know, not that big of a deal, all things considered. Because at this point, my Zacian's still at 60%. I won't be in range of like a Sucker Punch from Yveltal or anything, and I'm faster than it. Unless it's Scarf, I guess. But it, you know, Heatran maybe I could have Flame Body, I guess. But like Misty Terrain's currently up, so definitely not going to be a factor right now. But yeah, so I just go for Crunch here because I realize like the risk is I take some damage, but the reward is I win the game right off the bat. And so I do get the Crunch off here. It is going to 2-shot, just barely. And yeah, at this point the game is set. Heatran comes out here. If it was Flame Body, you would, I think if Ozzy made a little bit of mistake here, he could try to go for the Flame Body hacks on my Zacian. So like I probably just like I would do like Fini into. I would like go to Fini and like basically just like try to swap around so that I can't get until Misty Terrain ends, and then go to Heatran afterwards. Try to Flame Body with when I click CC against it, right? But yeah, he didn't do that. I do close combat, knock out the Heatran there. Probably should have at least gone to Fini to like, you know, wait out turns and like get myself to like lower my defenses as much as possible. But and his player off is gonna knock out the Fini there, and as long as I land my next player off here, I do win the game, which I do. And so yeah, Zacian does get 4 kills there, leading to my victory. Yeah, I think Ozzy played pretty well, all things considered. Honestly, I was playing like a lot more defensive than I am, and this we'll note that for the next game, because the next game I play, because that results in my loss. But I don't care about spoiling my own games, so you know. But yeah, that was that game. I think it did okay. it was okay. I definitely could have made better plays there. Like, I don't know. The one thing I will note, it's like, so when you're fighting against Arceus, right? Like the Arceus could have anything, but at the same time, you have to be reasonable in what you think it could have. So like this Arceus could have had like Judgment, Hydro Pump, Earth Power, and like completely demolished my whole team. But was it reasonable for the Arceus to have that? Not necessarily. So one thing to note, I will say, when you're playing this format, especially in Ubers, like the higher the power level it gets, like you have to just not be as careful about predicting everything. Just because sometimes it's unreasonable, and if it does happen, it's just unfortunate. Like you can't. I don't know. I might think about this wrong, but like I feel like you can't really predict everything that happens, or like try to be safe and try to like suss out every single option that your opponent could have before you try to go for a win. So like I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well, but it's just very hard to know all of the options. And so sometimes you just have to play without thinking about some of the more niche options that an opponent might have. You know, I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. But at the same time, yeah, that's the reason why I lost my second game. Because I was afraid of like Ice Beam on every single Pokemon, so my Gliscor didn't do anything it could have done, and then I lost and whatever. But yeah, anyways, I'm just gonna move on to my. Anyways, last game here for the day, Motostoke Milceries. Oh, I forgot. I don't know why I paused my music. But anyways, last game of the day here, Motostoke Milceries versus the Salacion Screamtails, right? I think it's the Salacion Screamtails. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. All right, so anyways, let's get this started. Palkia leading off against Landorus Therian here. Pretty good matchup for the Palkia, all things considered. This is pretty free Hydro Pump, I suppose. We're going to see the Blissey come in here, but it is going to take a lot of damage there, so, you know, kind of scary. Palkia is going to swap out to Arceus Rock here as the Self-Rock comes out. We're going to see Landorus Therian. Excuse me. And to Stealth Rock, and then Palkia comes back in. As Landorus Therian goes for the U-turn. Goes into Blissey, fair enough. And it is not Boots, actually. It's Leftovers Blissey. Personally, I'm not a fan of Leftovers nowadays on Blissey. Just because, like, there's so many, especially in an Ubers format, there's so many hazards that are being thrown around. Like, you kind of want to run Boots all the time. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But anyways, Stealth Rock. I mean, Sister Rowan comes out. Not going to do much. I don't know why Milceries kind of stayed in. I don't really know why Milceries stayed in there. Yeah, anyways, Blissey's going to go for the reverse recovery there as Pheromosa comes in. We're going to see the Landorus come in on the pivot as the Pheromosa probably goes for a CC. Yeah. It is Rocky Helmet Landorus. And we're going to see Arceus Steel come in on the potential Ice Beam. And List does read that correctly. We're going to see Palkia switch out now, though. I mean, sorry, Pheromosa switch out as the Arceus Steel goes for the Judgment. He knows he lives that -1 with close combat, I suppose, and then he goes for the Judgment there to take out whatever comes in, which would be the Palkia. I mean, Arceus Steel has a pretty good matchup here, all things considered. There's nothing that really wants to switch into Judgment. DOD is going to come in as Landorus Therian comes in as a swap. We're going to see Deoxys try to go for the Thunder Wave, but it does that against the Landorus Therian, and we're going to see the Taunt right afterwards. So, yeah, now DOD can't even set up spikes. U-Turn comes out. We're going to see Mewtwo swap in here on probably S-Toss, if I had to guess. Yes, we do see this on Tusk. Okay, Mewtwo is going to go for the Mega, and we're going to see Knockoff here. Knockoff into the Colbur Berry, though. So it's not going to do too much to Deoxys' defense as the Nicer Seismitoss comes out. But Knockoff should kill from this range, and yeah, it does knock out the DOD. Yveltal is going to come in here. If it is Scarf, it's going to just knock out the Mewtwo pretty cleanly here. But no, we are going to see the Drain Punch immediately, and it is going to heal up a little bit. But Mewtwo is going to go down to the Oblivion Wing, and Yveltal gets pretty much most of its health back there. It is Life Orb, though, so this is a little bit. Glaceon's going to come in here. Probably going to see a play rough as Petrarch comes in. Okay. Petrarch goes for the play rough. We're going to see the Swords Dance right afterwards as the Toxic comes out for the Petrarch. Poison Puppeteer activates, but Confusion is 33% this time around in this generation. So yeah, Crunch is still going to come out after the Confusion and knock out the Petrarch. Arceus Rock is going to come in here, and as long as he doesn't get confused, yep, Arceus Rock is going to go down to the Sacred Sword. Pheromosa is going to come in here, and it is faster than Zacian, so we are going to see a swap into Landorus here as the Pheromosa tries to go for a Swagger, and it does land on the second attempt there, getting a Mirror boost, and the Landorus does hit itself in Confusion, which is pretty scary. Blissey's going to come in here to get sacked by close combat. What are we going to see here? We can see Landorus come back in just to intimidate it down a little bit more. So now it's back at +0. Zacian's going to come in here as the close combat is going to almost knock it out, but not quite. And then Landorus is going to come back in here to get another Intimidate off as Pheromosa is going to probably knock it out. He does get the Ice Beam kill, but now at -1, I think Pheromosa can't really kill anything here. Arceus Steel is going to come back out. CC is not going to quite take out the Arceus Steel, and Arceus Steel is going to knock it out with Judgment after it being -3 and also being a Pheromosa. Yveltal is going to come in here. We are going to see the Sucker Punch, and it is going to knock out the Arceus Steel, so it's still a pretty close game. Kyurem White is going to swap in here, and is it Scarf? No, it's not Scarf. Yveltal is going to get the Dark Pulse off, but it isn't going to quite knock it out, and Kyurem White is going to live and take it out with Ice Beam. So, pretty close game there. Yeah, I think if Milceries got like a flinch... Wait. Yeah, if Milceries got a flinch there, she would have won the game, actually. But unfortunately, doesn't get that because the Zacian was at 4% and didn't have boots. But yeah. Very, very close game. But yeah, Lib is going to take that very, very close. But yeah. Anyways, that is going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Week 2 will be out next week, presumably, assuming I don't get lazy. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.